Hello. Hi, Redesigners. It's Cece from Cece ReStyled, and it's Thursday. So we're going to be working on our end tables again. Last Thursday, right here, same time, same place, we started these end tables. I had them primed, and we made and added some molds to the drawer faces. Where's my drawer? There's my drawer. So that's what we did last week. And if you are interested in making molds and you haven't yet, or you want to, or you're scared to, or have questions, I would definitely check out that video because I went over how to make molds from several different types of materials, including resin, hot glue, and the Redesign with Prima modeling material. So let's see. Then after the live was over, I painted them, got them all painted. So I attached my molds, and then I paint. Some people always ask, well, can I attach the molds to the paint? Yeah, you can paint and attach your molds after and paint them separately, but I don't do that. I never do that, really. I like to stick my molds directly onto a sanded wood or primed wood surface. But that's not saying that you cannot put them on paint. I know many people do, so whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Sorry. I don't see any hellos or comments or anything, so if you're hopping on, say hello. I don't see any comments, and if I don't see any, then hopefully if there's any questions, Roz will hop on and catch those. But I'm going to go ahead and get to work. So today, we're working on these end tables. Okay, there's a comment. No, that's not a comment, that's a person. Okay, so I don't think I'm seeing comments if anybody said hello, so I apologize, and I'll go back and check later and see if there's any questions. But so we got our nightstands painted, molded, painted. Today, we are working on, we're going to do a little bit of accent painting on our moldings here. And we're going to do some stick and style stencils with icing paste on the sides. So generally on my molds or details on a piece, I like to use gilding wax. Oh, there's a comment. Somebody said hi. Okay, hello, thank you. Okay, now they're working. So I'll try to catch questions, but I like to kind of try to work instead of chat. So that's what we'll do. But I will check for questions in a little bit. So anyways, normally on my details, moldings, anything like that on my furniture, I usually use decor wax. Gold is my favorite, the Eternal, of course. But it comes in all different colors under the sun. So, and they're all metallic except for the green Aurora. That one's not metallic-y. But I usually use the metallic decor waxes on my moldings. And I was planning to do that. And then I had an idea. I thought, well, I kind of blended in just a little bit or pounced on a little bit of accent colors with my paint when I was painting my my piece. And so I thought we might as well kind of work with those colors and bring the, sorry, I keep getting texts here. And instead of using decor wax, I'm going to use the Art Alchemy metallic paints. These are from Prima Marketing. I thought I would just do something a little bit different. Since I always use decor wax, I thought, let's just play with the colors in the paint job and we'll use our metallic paints. They're acrylic paints and they're amazing. They're metallic, some are sparkly, some are shimmery, some are just a little more sheen. But they're all metallic and they come in a million different colors. Okay, not a million, but a lot of different colors. So I had a really hard time deciding which green, which blue, and which orange. But I finally did, and so we are using those to kind of accent our moldings here and just make those look a little bit metallic-y, bring them out a little bit more. And hey, everybody, thanks for hopping on. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to apply those with just a little art brush, maybe like a 1/4 inch art brush. I like the 1/4 inch flat art brushes for those. Maybe 1/2 inch if you're feeling froggy, but I'm going to stick with the 1/4 inch art brush to apply my paint. So These, I'm gonna treat them just like I would a gilding wax when I'm applying them. I'm not painting the whole mold. I'm just going to kind of dab it on spots to highlight my moldings, okay? I'm not painting the whole ones. You can, but I like to just kind of accent them. So I'm going to start off with light patina is what this one is called. And this is one of those ones that's just a little pearly almost. It's almost completely just flat, but it's just got a little bit of shimmer to it. So it's not one of the super sparkly ones. Almost a little bit of an iridescence to it. And I'm just going to kind of take my brush and dab on the tops of my molds here as like a highlight. Kind of bring out a little bit more of that color that I did on the body of the piece. My blendy blend colors. And let's see. I'm going to get the tops of this guy, and I'll bring you in closer when I'm done so you can see a little bit better. Many of these metallic acrylic paints they cover really well, so you can get away with one coat. So I'm probably not going to do like a second coat on these, but we'll see how they turn out. So I'm just going to kind of highlight the tops of these little wings here. Boop, boop, boop. See, I'm not painting the whole thing. I could, but I'm not gonna. And a little bit there. Okay. And I think that's probably about good. Let's go a little bit over more of this guy. Okay. I think that's good for the light patina color. Okay, so see how it's just bringing those molds out a little bit more? I love my molds, and I want to highlight them because they're beautiful. I love molds. So fun. The name of the paint is Art Alchemy Metallique. It's a Prima marketing product. It's not part of the Redesign line, but it is another line from Prima Marketing. So you can get those from some Prima retailers carry these, and you can find them on Etsy. I know for sure. I'm not sure where else, but definitely on Etsy. And this one is called Light Patina. Hey, Roz. Okay, so next we're going to switch to our green, which is called Dragonfly. Ooh, doesn't that sound mystical? So this is a really pretty green. I'll show you. So this one so the last one we used was more pearly rather than sparkly. This one's a little more so. So it's a little more shimmery. This one's more shimmery. It's not quite sparkle, it's shimmer. Okay? And then we're going to just take a little bit of the Dragonfly, and we're just going to kind of, okay. So when I was painting the accent colors and the paint job, I kind of describe where I put my accent colors and how to place them like as follow the leader, okay? So I started with my first accent color and put that in a few choice places. And when I grab my second accent color, I just kind of follow the leader. So wherever I put the first accent color, I put the second accent color kind of shadowed behind it. Does that make sense? So we're going to follow the leader with the green, and we're just going to go right underneath, kind of overlapping just a little bit, our blue, just like we did the blue, but just shadow, like a shadow. I hope that makes sense. I call it follow the leader. So we're following the leader being the blue, and we're just going to go behind him in shadow. Because that's how you need a method to place accent colors. I mean, I suppose you could just go onto something and just start throwing things on willy-nilly. But it helps a lot of people to have a reference to wrap their brain around as to where to place colors, because believe it or not, it's not natural for everyone. So if you lay down your first color and then your second and third just kind of mimic that, then you have a formula, I guess, for where to place your accent colors. You don't have to guess, okay? So trying to make it easy for folks who, might have a little trouble figuring out where to place colors. Okay, so now we're going to go follow the leader over here and just come right down underneath our blue. I like to overlap it just a little bit. So I'm just dabbing it on the tops of my details. I'm not painting the entire detail. Although you could, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just want to highlight them, so I'm just kind of dabbing it over the tops. And same over here. Our blue is here, so we're just going to come down here with our green. I love these paints. They're just so rich, and the coverage is awesome. Like, they're very opaque for metallics, which is kind of rare. Usually metallics take 2-3 coats. These, I don't know, every once in a while I'll do 2 coats on like a bigger surface, but generally, like things small like this, 1 coat is just fine, which is good because I get impatient and I don't want to do 2 coats unless I have to. Okay, so there's our blue and the lid. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and see how it's kind of creating like a rainbowy effect or oil slick kind of rainbow, if you know what I'm talking about, when you do the colors kind of overlap them just a little bit in multicolors. It just creates this almost rainbow oil slick effect. Next, we're going to use our last accent color, Fresh Orange. I had another orange picked out, but then I dropped it and it rolled away and I have no idea where it went, so I grabbed another one. But Fresh Orange is also shimmery. Very shimmery. It's this bright shimmery orange. Ooh, Marshall. There your tables, girl. There's your tables. Okay. Oh, am I in the way? Yeah, I'm gonna, I'll bring you in closer somehow. Let me turn the tables. I will bring in the camera a little closer so that you can see better. How's that? Hopefully. I don't know, my tables are a little cluttery over here. But if you want to see better, you can see better. Okay. Hopefully this will work. Okay, let me just try to bring the tripod on over. This is a problem with having so many projects going on at one time. It becomes a big, giant clutter. Everything is cluttery. I've got like 1,000 projects going on at one time. It's, I guess, a good problem to have. So, all right, so let's pull you in here. And that's better, right? That's a better view. Gotta move my light real quick. Okay, so how's that? Good? Okay, this is good because it'll be a better view for our icing paste too when we do our icing paste. So let me kind of tilt you down here. Okay, so blue, you can see where I put the blue and the green. And now we're going to do the fresh orange is what this color is called, okay? Fresh orange. And got my little brushy brush. You don't need to load up the paint with the brush with too much paint. I forgot to mention, after I did the paint job, I sealed the entire bottom half of the piece, including the drawer. I let my 3-year-old paint my nails last night, so do not judge. She's 3, and she did a good job for 3, okay? Just thought I would point that out in case you noticed. Anyways, so I sealed the whole bottom half of this piece. I did not seal the top yet because next Thursday we're going to be doing transfers on the top. We're going to talk about layering and placement of transfers, okay? So, icing paste. Oh, Cindy, as soon as I'm done doing the orange, we're going to go through the icing paste, and I'll show you what that is and explain it and all that. We're going to go ahead and dab on our Florida orange real quick. But I just wanted to let you know that I did seal this first, and I'm doing my paint or gilding wax last, okay? And this paint, I'm not going to need to reseal it. It's acrylic paint, and it just dries to a semi-glossy finish. So, No need to reseal. So again, I'm just going over the tops of the details with the orange, the fresh orange. And I'm following the leader. I'm going right underneath where I put my green. And I'm kind of like thinking about this as if it's green, it's shadowing the green, okay? So just underneath it a little bit. And I like to overlap them a little bit and make sure that there's not a harsh line where they overlap. And that helps it to look a little more naturally, like it fades instead of just, I painted 3 colors. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so follow the leader down here. We're just going to go ahead and add oranges here. Right underneath, kind of right around where we did our green. Just to the tops. It helps to kind of blend them together with your finger. That's cool too. And these dry really fast. It's awesome. These are great paints. All right, follow the leader over here. Just the tops. And overlap our green just a tad. Okay, and you don't have to use orange, green, and blue. This goes with my piece, so that's what I chose. But there's silvers and golds and coppers and pinks and purples. And I mean, there's every color and every neutral and every metallic you could want. So it's just a nice alternative to a little different, something a little different than gilding wax. And I love my gilding wax, but I like these paints too. So that is how we're accenting our deets with the Art Alchemy Metallic paints. And now we get to move on to the fun icing paste. I love icing paste. And I have chalk paste over here I brought. I'll show you the differences between those two too. So let me go ahead and show you this real quick up close before I turn the table. Isn't that fun? So fun, so fun. Can you imagine that in like 3 different golds, or gold, copper, and bronze, or gold, copper, and silver, like a little fade or ombre of gold and silver and another metallic? That would be amazing. I'm going to have to remember that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the table. I'm going to turn it to its side so we have a good view of the side, and then we'll go through icing paste and chalk paste and the differences and all that. These tables are crazy heavy for an end table, so bear with me. Normally I just put them on my dolly, but they're a little low and my back is killing me. So up here it is. All right, got a good view. Great, okay. So I'm going to be using icing paste for this project, but let's see, let me show you the icing paste. So icing paste is, it's also a Prima product. I'm using it in vintage gold. Let me open it so you can see. Should have opened this before, but I didn't. Okay, icing paste is super yummy. It comes in all of these metallics. It comes in like fire ruby, which is this deep red, and magic amethyst is this beautiful iridescent purple, and emerald green, just all the colors. And it's like, I can't decide which one to use sometimes. I'm having trouble opening this, but there we go. But the icing pastes are all metallic. Okay, so there's icing paste, which I'm trying to show you, but I'm having technical difficulties with the foil. Okay, there we go. So this is icing paste. It's so yummy. Isn't that yummy? It looks like pudding. Looks like metallic pudding. I can get down with that, but don't eat it. Don't actually eat it. So the icing pastes come in metallics. There's also chalk pastes from Redesign with Prima, and these are also yummy, but these are not metallic. These are just flat. So depending on your project or what kind of look you're trying to achieve, that's how you decide if you want to use icing paste or chalk paste. Chalk paste is flat, dries matte, and icing paste is shiny and dries metallic. or it's metallic and dry shine. There's another chalk paste. Isn't that pretty? And it smells so good. It smells like roses. So whatever, your project calls for, which is, whatever you decide, that's how you can figure out whether you need to use chalk paste or icing paste. So what can I use them for, though? What is chalk paste for? What is icing paste for? Well, today we're using it for some 3D stenciling on the side. Okay, so you can use the paste for 3D stenciling. You can use them with a brush just like you would paint if you want to freehand something. I've used the icing paste on apparel before because it dries hard and permanent. And again, I sealed this piece already, so this is our last step. Those are a few of the uses for icing paste, but I think probably the most common use is 3D stenciling. So we're going to be doing some 3D stenciling with the Redesign with Prima Stick and Style stencils. And let's see. I'm going to grab my stick and style real quick. It's the one thing I forgot to grab. Okay, so there's several styles of the stick and style stencil rolls. And what those are, they are rolls of adhesive stencils. They are reusable, but they're also disposable. So depending on your MO and your project, you can reuse them or you can just pitch them. They come in rolls like this. This one is called, oh my gosh, what's this one called? I'm completely drawing a blank on what this one's called. Maybe Roz knows what it's called. I'm just drawing a blank, having a brain fart. Look how perfectly that fits right in there. I mean, it's like it was meant to be. So I love these because they're adhesive enough to stick to your piece. And, oh my gosh, Marshall, you better use that transfer before I die or else I'm going to haunt you. They're adhesive enough to stick to your piece, and so your paint or icing paste or wax or whatever you're stenciling with doesn't seep through and cause, a fuzzy stencil, which nobody likes. That's boo, Oh yes, Calypso lattice. Thank you. Oh, brain fart. Too many things, But yes, this is my favorite one, so I can't believe I forgot the name of it. But anyways, they're sticky enough to get you a nice, crisp, clean stencil, but they're also not so sticky that they pull up your paint. I've never had these pull up my paint. And if you have, I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe you might want to check your prep steps or let your paint dry a little more, because I always prep my pieces very well, and I've never had these pull up paint. They're amazing. And even when you reuse them and restick them, they're still sticky enough to give you a nice crisp stencil. So we're just gonna put this on right here, and it happens to just so fit perfectly in this little inset area. I mean, it could not have been planned out any better. I'm gonna cut off what I'm not gonna use, and make sure it's all on there well. Okay, so again, chalk paste or icing paste for 3D stencil, and that's totally up to you, but I want to use the vintage gold because that matches what I've got going on this piece. And to apply that, I'm going to use a spread pal. These are another Redesign with Prima product, and they come in a pack with this larger one and then one that's about half the size. So they're rubbery, and they're silicone like the mold, so to clean them, you can just like peel off, whatever dries up on it. At least that's kind of my method for cleaning stencils and molds and spread pals. I just wait till the product dries and scrape it off. Not because I'm lazy, and not because I hate doing it. So anyways, that's what I'm going to use to apply my icing paste. And usually I wear gloves because it can get a little messy. But I'm out of gloves at the shop, so we're just going to freeball it and wash our hands or wipe our hands off, right? So, all right, I'm going to load up a little bit of the icing paste onto my spread pal, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and start, well, I'll start over here. And I'm just going to kind of spread it on. That's why it's called a spread pal, because it's your buddy when you're trying to spread. You just spread it on. And you can put it on thick. You can put it on as thick as you want it to get a nice tall dimensional stencil, or, you know, so you can really tell it's a 3D stencil. Or you can put it on thin if you just want a thin amount on there and you don't want a super dimensional stencil. You just want a little kiss of gold. You can just spread it on real thin like that. So I think I'm going to go kind of in between and do, I don't want it to be super duper crazy, but I don't want it to be super translucent. So I'm just going to kind of go on with a medium amount. So enough to cover it, but not go overboard. Okay. And then grab a little bit more. And yes, you do the same exact process with the chalk paste to use those as a 3D stencil. Come up, shake, come up, shake, come up, shake. All right. All right, let's do a little bit more down here. It's kind of awkward trying to get down here on the bottom, isn't it? But we can do it. We got this. And you can get the icing paste and the chalk paste from most Redesign with Prima retailers. So if you have a favorite retailer that you work with, you can ask them if they have the goods, and if they do not, you can find it on Etsy. Etsy is the best. I love Etsy. Etsy is the bomb.com. You can find anything you want on there. People always ask me where to get certain products, and I literally link them to an Etsy shop about 90% of the time. Because no, I don't sell these products. I get to ask that a lot too. How do I buy this from you? I do not retail Redesign with Prima products. I'm just a brand ambassador. I just show you fun things and how to use these products. I don't sell them. So it's always nice to have a local retailer if that's an option for you. Develop a relationship with them, and if not, Etsy is your friend. Okay, so I think we're good. Hold on, let me get this last little bit right here. Okay, I think that's good. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our stencil. And typically, I would just reuse the same piece on all three sides of the piece I'm doing. But the icing paste can be a little messy, and I don't want to, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to pitch this piece after I pull it up. I like to pull it up from two sides and try to pull it out instead of, like a Band-Aid. I like to just, pull it up instead of just rip it off. So it helps to kind of preserve some of my 3D-ness. Okay, so that is, I'll give you a little side view here. See if that will help you see the, can you see the 3D effect a little bit better, or no? Yeah, no? Okay. Well, I did my best. So I sealed this piece before I did the icing paste, and I'm doing the icing paste last. You can seal, I think I got my hair in the stencil. You can seal the icing paste, but you don't need to. It dries permanent. It dries hard and permanent. But if you want to seal it afterwards for any random reason, you want to wait. It doesn't dry super fast, but it doesn't dry slow. So I wait about 24 hours for the icing paste to dry. The chalk paste dries a little bit faster, but I do at least 24 hours to be safe. Because when you're doing a thick stencil, like a really thick one, those kind of globs of icing paste can take a while to dry. They don't dry super quick. So yeah. And you can transfer over it, absolutely. Yeah, yes, I sealed this piece except for the top. I did not seal the very top because we're going to do transfers on the top. Next Thursday, we're going to go over how to cut, layer, and place transfers, okay? So I'm just trying to address a lot of the things that I get asked often, and a lot of people ask me how do I figure out where to place my transfers on a piece. And so instead of just using the transfer straight up, we're going to shake and stir it, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do our backside, or our end table's backside, rather. And let me turn this beast. All right. So generally, like on, say, a desk or a vanity or a console table or buffet, something that you know is going up against the wall, like in pretty much 99.999% of the cases. I don't do anything on the back, but on end tables and nightstands, I always finish out the back, because you never know, sometimes if it's a sofa table, it could be seen. So I always do the backs of my end tables and nightstands, just in case. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our back. And like I said, you can reuse the same piece that we just used, but I want a nice, crisp, clean stencil, and the icing paste can tend to be really messy, so I'm not going to take my chance. The stick and style stencil rolls, the older ones like this one, they come in, oh my gosh, I think it's 15 yards or something ridiculous, so I don't worry about running out or wasting it, because there's plenty. I think I've had this roll for like 8 months, and I'm still using it, and I love this stencil. I use it all the time, so it's not like I've only used it once or twice. The newer stick and style stencil rolls, I think these are like 4.5 inch. The newer stick and style stencil rolls that are being released, they are more of like a seafoam green color instead of white, so that's how you can tell the difference. But they're like 6 inches, and they're a little bit stickier, but they come in smaller rolls, so your investment is not quite as steep, but it is worth it for how much you get. So that's just an FYI. If you see the price difference, you don't wonder why. It's because one roll has considerably more stencil to it. So you're getting a deal. You're getting more. Mo money, mo stencil, mo stencil. All right, there we go. Got our stencil on. And we're just going to repeat that process. And in case you just hopped on, we're using a spread pal. It's this little rubbery guy from Redesign with Prima. Comes in a pack of 2. One's a little guy and one's a big guy. You can also use a palette knife. You can use a brush. You can use a squeegee, a trowel. Heck, you could probably use a credit card or a plastic spoon. I don't know. Anything you got to kind of spread. You know what I'm saying? Spread. And again, if you want a thin stencil, just scrape it firmly, like so. And you get a little bit, flatter of a stenciling. If you're using a metallic, it's going to be a little bit more translucent, which, depending on your piece, that could be what you want. You could be looking for just a little shimmery pattern. I'm just going a little bit more than that. I want a little bit more than a shimmer. And what you're seeing, as you see this right now, like, it's shimmery, right? It's pretty sparkly, but it dries even more sparkly. So it's going to be even more metallic-y when it dries. I think it's because it dries to like a glossy type sheen or semi-gloss type sheen, so that creates, a little more sparkle. I think that's why, but I'm no expert, I just paint furniture. Okay, so let's see, that might be good enough. Let's check it out. A couple little spots I want to get down here. All right. Think that's good. Add a little bit more here. I'm actually not being as messy this time as I usually am. I'm impressed with myself. Usually I have this stuff everywhere. I'm trying to be proper for y'all. Okay, so let's see. We're done with this. We're gonna go ahead and pull it up from two ends. Pull up and out to kind of save our stenciling not screwed up. Boom. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this piece away. And there's our stenciling on the back. Pretty, right? And then we got one more side and that's it. Then we're all done. Then next week we're gonna do transfers on the top, okay? Cut and layer. Okay, so you turn this one more time. We'll do the last one. I'll try to do it quickly. Without knocking everything off the table. Ugh. These are some beasts, I'll tell you that. That or I'm just really weak. I don't work out anymore. Whew. Okay. The thing I love about stick and style stencils, well, I already told you what I love about them. Reusable or disposable. I like the patterns. I like that they keep my stencil nice and crisp. But usually when I'm using the stick and style, like I don't use icing paste on everything. I do use decor wax on almost everything. And the thing about the stick and styles is that you can use almost any medium on them. So obviously I'm showing you the icing paste. You don't have to use icing paste. You don't have to use chalk paste. You can use decor wax, paint. Sometimes with the stick and style stencils, or any stencil really, but I really like to use the stick and style. Sometimes I use these just like we're using them now, and I spray a spray adhesive over the stencil, and then I can do foils or leaves in the pattern of my stencil. So there's really, you think, okay, stenciling, it's some patterns in paint. Well, there's really like more than that you can do. I love doing gold leaf or copper leaf over stencil. So all you got to do is, excuse me, exactly what we're doing right now. You just lay down your stencil. You can take some spray adhesive. I like to use Elmer spray adhesive or Aleene's tacky, or you can also get the kind that you brush on for gold foil. It's called Size, and you can brush it on, but I prefer to spray. Again, not because I'm lazy. Okay, maybe I'm a little lazy, and it's also less messy, less time consuming, and you get a more even coverage than you do with a brush. Plus, it minimizes the chance you're going to get that, squishy, uneven bleed underneath your stenciling. So, anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is our last side. Just spread it on. And again, no need to seal, but you can if you want to. Wait about 24 hours to be safe, because it does not dry super quick. But it doesn't dry slow either, so kind of in between. It's a tweener. Okay, so we got up here, and we're just going to do the rest. It's kind of hard to get down in here. And on this stencil, I'm going over it pretty evenly. But most of the time I stencil, I don't make sure and spend this much time getting all the product into every little opening on the stencil, if that makes sense. So I usually kind of just drag it on there and kind of randomly so that I get a distressed kind of look, because I like that, I don't like I don't usually do like perfectly stenciled this or that, I usually kind of just leave some of the random spots untouched, and it gives you more of a distressed or aged kind of look, so I like doing that too. But this one, I feel like I need to fill it all in, Okay, so I think that's good. Pretty good coverage. So this is our last side. So my spread pal, you can wash it off. Like I said, I just wait till it dries and I peel it off, because that's just as easy to me. and I'm lazy. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up from two sides our last stencil. Let's see. Yeah. Pull it up and out. Boom, okay? There we go. There we go. So that is our stick and style stencil with icing paste all over all the sides. Yes, I like to work smart, not hard. Oh, hello? Hello? We're not home right now. All right, so there's the other side. I'm just going to walk you around the side. It's easier than trying to move the freaking heavy table. So, hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Just in case you missed it, you can always watch the replay, but we did stick and style stencils with icing paste on the sides, and then on the front, the moldings that we cast and applied last week, we used Art Alchemy paints from Prima Marketing, and we just kind of went over the tops of our details a little bit to give it like a nice accented kind of rainbowy tone. And there's that way you can see kind of the angle with both the front and the side together. So next week we're going to take decor wax and we're going to go over the feet so they're a nice bright sparkly gold instead of the dull brass that they are currently. So we're going to give those new life with some decor wax. And then on the tops, which I have not yet sealed, okay, I sealed the bottom half, the entire bottom of this piece I sealed with gator hide, and I left the top unsealed because next week after we decor wax the feet, we're then going to learn about cutting, layering, and placement of different transfers on the top. So that is why I didn't seal the top, because we're going to transfer it. And like I said, a lot of people ask me how I choose where I place my transfers. I guess, placement is not something that comes naturally for everyone. Not everyone has an eye for, that kind of thing. So we'll go over some fundamentals of art, like balance, symmetry, visual weight, things like that will help you to kind of have a reference for when you're placing transfers and elements on your piece. So that's next Thursday. So thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit and listening to me make bad jokes and blab my mouth. There's the other table. We got to finish that one's paint job still. Whoops. Anyways, so you all have a great rest of your day. It's almost the weekend. Not that that really means a whole lot these days. Every day is kind of the weekend, right? But anyways, thanks for tuning in. If I missed any questions, I will be happy to go back and answer those. So have a great day. Bye.